Hi everybody, today we are looking at converting fractions to percents. So let's think about this. How does 20/50ths compare to 50%? Is it bigger or is it smaller than 50%? So how could we figure this out? What are some ideas you have? A couple ways we could do this. Thinking about 50%, that's half of a number. So what's half of 50? That's 25, right? So if 25 is half of 50, then 20 is less than half of 50, meaning that 20/50ths is less than 50%. Another way we could do this is we could turn 20/50ths into an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator. Getting a fraction over 100 makes it really easy to turn it into a percent. So we're going to use the giant 1 to do that. Giant 1 that we would use here is 2 over 2. So we take 20 and we multiply by 2 to get 40, and we take 50 and multiply by 2 to get 100. So 40 hundredths is 40%, meaning that 40% is less than 50%. So you've heard me say this before, but percent means per 100. Cent means 100. There's 100 cents, 100 pennies in a dollar. So let's use the giant 1 to turn 7/25ths into a percent. What giant 1 would help us turn this fraction into a fraction over 100? You would need to use 4 over 4 as your giant 1 because 25 times 4 is 100. So you need to take 7 times 4 to get 28, meaning this is 28%. Here's a practice problem. There are 3 students who invented a game in which they flip coins for 1 minute to determine who flipped the highest percentage of heads. After their first round, each of them thinks that they are the winner of the game. And here's what they reported. Maria thinks that she won. Of her flips, 12/25ths were heads. Autumn thinks she won and she flipped 40 coins or 40 times and had a total of 18 heads. And she thinks because both of her numbers were bigger than Maria's that she won. And Kumar said, I got 44% of my flips as heads. So which student had the highest percentage of heads? So the best way to compare this is to turn them all into percents. Okay, Kumar already has his as a percent, so you just need to turn the other two into percents. So Maria, hers was 12 out of 25. If we multiply by a giant 1 of 4 over 4, we get to 48 out of 100, which is 48%. Autumn, there's a couple ways you could have done this. Hers was 18 out of 40. Now, it's kind of hard to figure out the number to multiply 40 by to get to 100. That number is 2.5. So if you didn't know that, you could have also reduced 18/40ths to 9/20ths because 20 is a nice number to get to 100. 20 times 5 is 100. So you would take 9/20ths and multiply it by the giant 1 of 5 over 5 to get 45 out of 100, which is 45%. So now you can clearly see that Maria flipped the highest percentage of heads. Let's do a couple practice problems here. I want you to change the fractions to a percent. So what is 13/20ths as a percent? That is 65%. You would use the giant 1 of 5 over 5 to turn this into 65 out of 100, which is 65%. What is 7/10ths as a percent? That's 70%. Using a giant 1 of 10 over 10 would get you to 70 out of 100, which is 70%. Right, that's all I got for you.